and made a request to a black slave of his, "Will you get the permission of Allah's Apostle for Umar to enter into him?" The slave went and talked to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam about it and came out saying, "I mentioned you to him, but he kept silent. So I went and sat with the people who were sitting by the pulpit, but I could not bear the situation. So I went to the slave again and said, 'Will you get the permission for Umar?' He went in and brought the same reply as before. So I went and sat with the people who were sitting by the pulpit, but I could not bear the situation. So I went to the slave again and said, 'Will you get the permission of Umar?' He went in and brought the same reply as before. When I was about to leave, behold, the slave called me, 'The Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given you permission.' So I entered upon the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and saw him lying on a mat without wedding on it, and the mat had left its mark on the body of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was leaning on a leather pillow stuffed with palm fibers. I greeted him while still standing. I said, 'Have you divorced your wives?' He raised his eyes to me and replied in the negative. Then, while still standing, I said, chatting, 'Will you pay attention to what I say? O Allah's Apostle, we, the people of Quraysh, used to have the upper hand over our women, wives, and when we came to the people whose women had the upper hand over them," Umar told the whole story about his wife. On that, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam smiled. Umar further said, "I then said, I went to Hafsa and said to her, 'Do not imitate your companion Aisha, for she is more beautiful than you and more beloved to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam.' The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam smiled again. When I saw him smiling, I sat down and cast a glance at the room. By Allah, I couldn't see anything of importance but 3 hides. I said to Allah's Apostle, 'Invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make your followers prosperous, for the Persians and the Byzantines have been made prosperous and given worldly luxuries, though they do not worship Allah.' The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leaning then, but on hearing my speech, he sat straight and said, 'O Ibn al-Khattab, do you have any doubt that the hereafter is better than this world? These people have been given rewards of their good deeds in this world only.' I asked the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 'Please invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me.' The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not go to his wives because of the secret which Hafsa had disclosed to Aisha, and he said that he would not go to his wives for 1 month, as he was angry with them when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonished him for his oath that he would not approach Maria. After 29 days had passed, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Aisha first, who said to him, 'You took an oath that you would not come to us for 1 month, and today only 29 days have passed, as I have been counting them day by day.' The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 'The month is 29 days. Really, that month consisted of 29 days. Aisha said, when the divine revelation of choice was revealed, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam started with me, saying, 'I am telling you something, but you need not hurry to give the reply till you consult your parents.' Aisha said, 'I know that my parents will not advise me to depart from you, the Nabi.' The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had said, 'O Nabi, say to thy consorts, if it be that ye desire the life of this world and its glitter, then come, I will provide for your enjoyment and set you free in a handsome manner. But if you seek Allah and His Rasul and the home of the Akhirah hereafter, where Allah has prepared for the well-doers amongst you a great reward.' The Confederates, Surah 33, Ayat 29. Aisha said, 'Am I to consult my parents about this? I indeed prefer Allah, His Apostle, and the home of the Akhirah hereafter.' After that, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the choice to his other wives, and they also replied the same as Aisha did. Hadith 2469. Anas radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took an oath that he would not go to his wives for a month, since his foot had been sprained. He stayed in an upper room when Umar went to him, and said, "Have you divorced your wives?" He said, "No, but I have taken an oath that I will not go to them for a month." The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed there for 29 days. When he came down and went to his wives. Section 26. Tying one's camel at the pavement or in front of the door of the mosque. Hadith 2470. Jabir radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered the mosque, and I too went there after tying the camel at the pavement of the mosque. I said to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "This is your camel." He came out and started examining the camel and said, "The camel and its price are for you." Section 27. Standing and urinating at people's dumps. Hadith 2471. Wa'il narrated from Hudayfa radhiyallahu anhu, I saw the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam coming, or the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to the dumps of some people where he urinated while standing. Section 28. Removing the thorny branch or what might be harmful to people from the way. Hadith 2472. Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, while a man was on the way, he found a thorny branch of a tree there on the way, which he removed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thanked him for that deed and forgave him. Section 29. If there is a dispute over land where its owners wanted to build, then 7 cubits should be left as a public way. Hadith 2473. Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam judged that 7 cubits should be left as a public way when there was a dispute over the land. Section 30. Forbidding robbery and mutilation. Ubadah radhiyallahu anhu told, we gave the pledge of allegiance to the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam not to be robbers. Hadith 2474. Abdullah ibn Yazid al-Ansari radhiyallahu anhu narrated that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade robbery, taking away what belongs to others without their permission, and mutilation of the body. Hadith 2475. Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when an adulterer commits illegal sexual intercourse, then he is not a believer, mu'min, at the time he is doing it. And when a drinker of wine drinks it, then he is not a believer, mu'min, at the time of drinking it. And when a thief steals, then he is not a believer, mu'min, at the time of stealing. And when a robber robs, and the people look at him, then he is not a believer, mu'min, at the time of doing robbery. Section 31. Breaking the 3 item and killing the pig. Hadith 2476. Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the hour will not be established until the son of Mary, Jesus, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, descends amongst you as a just ruler. He will break the 3 item, kill the pigs, and abolish the jaza, when it will be so abundant that nobody will accept it as charity. Section 32. Is it permissible to break the vats or tear the skins of wine or to destroy any useless thing? Hadith 2477. Salama ibn al-Aqwa radhiyallahu anhu narrated, on the day of Khaybar, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw fires being lighted. He asked, why are these fires being lighted? The people replied that they were cooking the meat of donkeys. He said, break the pots and throw away their contents. The people asked, could we throw away their contents and wash the pots rather than break them? He said, wash them. Hadith 2478. Abdullah ibn Masud radhiyallahu anhu narrated, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered Mecca, and at that time there were 360 idols around the Kaaba. He started stabbing the idols with a stick he had in his hand, as reciting, truth has now arrived and falsehood perished, for falsehood is by its nature bound to perish. The Night Journey, Surah 17, Ayat 81. Hadith 24.